Hi everyone, welcome back to this video series, how to delete or dissolve the egoic mind. This is part 5. In the last video series, part 4, we talked about how the ego gets fed. That was really important. If you haven't watched that video, I'll put a link below. Please watch it before we carry on with this, because feeding the ego is a really big part to this. This is about how you have got power to change this if you wish to. So in this part, in part 5, we're going to be covering actually how we can start putting this into practice. So how can we start deleting or dissolving the egoic mind? Okay, so the first thing, if you are not clear about this, it's really important to get this clear for yourself. So I'm going to ask this question first before we move on. And the question is, when thoughts arise, are you going into trauma body survival state? So when your thoughts arise, are you noticing that you are going into that trauma body that we talked about in that survival state? It's really, really important that you take notice of this, because it's when we are not noticing things that can cause more issues. We have to become conscious of this. We have to become aware of this, right? So what I said in the last one, I want to repeat again this thing that you cannot fix the mind, the egoic mind, through the mind, basically. You can't resolve any of this egoic mind issues through the mind. It doesn't work like that. The mind does not have the power to do that. And this is where we're going to cover more and more the heart. Okay, it's the heart. It's the heart that has got the greatest power. I have said this so many times in these videos. I put something very similar to this. I actually did this exercise in the Awakening of Humanity series that I did, and I was saying the same thing. The mind does not have power, not the power that we've been told, not in that way. It is the heart that has got the greatest power, and therefore the heart is the only way you can actually transform and change what you wish to for yourself. And this is what we're going to be talking about here. Okay, so how do you delete or dissolve the egoic mind? How do you do this? I mentioned this before. The way to do this is by training the mind to know that you are safe, but also to know who and what you are. You need to train your mind for it to learn that you are absolutely whole and complete and safe within yourself. And therefore in that, it will learn who and what you are. It's both. It works both ways. It needs to know what and who you actually are. When I say who, I don't obviously mean the identities, the titles, the labels and all that kind of thing. I'm talking about, what are you? What are you actually? Because in true essence, we are only pure vibration that's within ourselves, that comes straight from our heart, that spreads across our body. That is what we actually are. But we need to train the mind to know that. And this is what we're going to be talking about now. So the first thing, number one, in order we start to practice in terms of how to dissolve the egoic mind, 100%, the first thing, the most important thing is we have to bring consciousness to the unconscious. You have to bring consciousness to the unconscious. That is so important. Without noticing what's going on within you, without noticing how you're feeling, without noticing what's going on in terms of how you're behaving and the situation and how you're feeling and how you're being triggered by something, without bringing consciousness to this is going to be an almost impossible task. You can't do it. So number one is you have to start becoming aware of this. Now, this is one of the reasons why heart is needed, because the consciousness comes straight from the heart. That's actually how it works. Consciousness comes from the heart. So we are going to be practicing a heart exercise. I did do this in the Awakening of Humanity series that I did, but we're going to do it in a slightly different way, very similar, but a slightly different way, so we can really understand and how we can really start putting this into practice. Because without this, it's going to be so hard, because it's not just the heart that brings consciousness, but it brings everything else that we need to be able to do in order to dissolve this egoic mind, right? Okay, so you have to start noticing your trauma body. That's why I asked that question initially. You have to start noticing this. You have to notice the responses, what your trauma body is responding in this unconscious way. You have to be quite objective about it. You have to just notice it without any judgment. Like we said, you do not judge yourself for this. If you do start judging yourself, then bring compassion to that, right? Bring compassion to, oh, okay, understanding that that's okay. I understand it's something that I automatically in my survival state do is to judge myself, right? This is again survival. This is your habit. So bring compassion to that. It's okay. You just watch it and you bring compassion to that every time. The next thing to be aware of, and this is going to be another practice that you have to start putting in place, is when the egoic mind thoughts come in, so when the survival state body comes in, whether it's like mind thinking, overthinking, whatever it is for you, and it could be many different things, of course, right? It could be the situation, but it's usually a few. It's usually one or two that you find you get yourself into, right? It could be a bit more, but it's usually the ones that you're quite familiar with that you kind of go back to. What I want you to do is when this happens, you notice this happens, whether it's overthinking, trauma body, whatever happens, is go back right within the feelings. It's not about the mind thinking, it's about the feeling that's behind it. It's really important to start practicing that. This is like, I don't want to say basic, but it's really simple practice. It's a really simple practice that you can do all the time because our mind believes there's actually something wrong, but that's not actually how it works, okay? If we go back to the feelings and we stay with the feelings, you will start to learn that you can actually transform. You can actually change this for yourself. So stay with the feelings, okay? So the egoic mind stuff comes up, but whether it's overthinking, whether it's trauma body in any way, go back to the feelings. Okay, how am I feeling right now? What am I feeling right now? Just ask yourself that question. What am I feeling right now? I've said this before. So if you're comfortable right now with the labeling of the feelings, great. Stay with that. If you're able to go a little further with it, start actually feeling, being open to this. You have to be open to this with your heart. Start being open to the feelings within your body. It's the opening of how you are feeling. Basically, your feeling is the connection to your emotions, right? So when you are open with how your emotions are feeling within you, is another way of saying it, then you are letting the feelings or the emotions transform or alchemize within you. So great if you can just start labeling the feelings first. Great, get into the habit of that. And then if you can go a little bit further and stay right with the emotions and let yourself be open to all the emotions and feel it within you. Your body can handle this. It's not an issue. Your body can handle this. It's just you haven't got into a habit of being able to do this. So you believe that you can't, right? So again, bring consciousness to the unconscious. And then stay with the feelings, not with the mind. Go straight to the feelings, and it's all about the feelings. It really is. That's the only way change can happen. Unfortunately, people sometimes find it obviously really easy to stay with the mind, right? Because it's comfortable, it's easy. And, if we stay here, oh, I know what this is. I know how to, now I know how to control things, right? It never, ever helps with transformation. Feelings is the only way. If you really want to heal, it's the only way. So stay with the feelings. Okay, next thing. So we're going to do the heart exercise, like I said. The other part to this is when you are noticing, okay, so let's say it could be you're on your phone and then the mind thinking comes in, right? Let's give an example. You're on your phone, mind thinking comes in, take notice of that, like we said, stay with the feelings. How do I feel? This is great when, like we said, connecting to your body. How do you feel in your body? Do you feel it? Do you feel shakiness? Do you feel nervousness? How do you feel within the body, right? So again, stay with the feelings. The next part of this, and this is why the feelings really help, is now you are going to learn within-ness. I call this a within-ness model, where you are going to learn how to be within your vibration. You are going to learn how to be within your vibrational field. This is perfect. I tell you, this is perfect. And if you are that person, like we talked about in the previous part to this video series, of feeding the egoic mind. This is perfect for anyone who goes on their phone or social media, whatever it is, and it really affects you, because what you're learning in this within-ness model, that the answers no way is ever outside of you. It's just not possible. No one has got the answers. Only you know. And therefore, what you're going to learn here is how to stay within your own vibration. And the more you stay within your vibration and do this practice, you are going to learn this is the only place to trust. This is it, that you can't rely on anything else. You can't rely on anyone else. It's not possible. This is the ultimate learning. So I call this a within-ness model. And the way we do it is by staying within the heart. So the heart is the key to every part of you that knows what's actually true. It is the part connected to your complete inner vibration. If you want to get into your inner vibration, your true self, you have to be within the heart. It's the only way. But when I say within-ness, it's like a feeling of, imagine there's nothing outside of you, right? And then all you do now is go right within, and almost like you can just imagine your whole body going right inside, and you put your focus straight within yourself. And the best way, again, is through the heart, because the heart is connected to all parts of you. So we're going to do this exercise now, right? We're going to practice this within-ness model, which what we're going to do is basically the heart exercise that I've done before, but we're going to keep it right within. So we're going to kind of bring it up a little bit more to another level. I just want to repeat, we bring consciousness up to the unconscious, we stay with the feelings, and then when things come up after staying with the feelings from whatever exposure we've put ourselves into, or we've noticed our trauma body from this consciousness, we now stay within our vibrational field. We'll stay within ourselves. It's the only way. Because what usually happens when we are in some kind of trauma body, we go outside of us. So think about, now I'm not saying don't seek help. Okay. But sometimes, we go straight, we pick up the phone and we talk to someone, and that's okay if that helps. But sometimes what we need to learn is how to actually emotionally be there for ourselves as well. You can do both, right? But whatever it is, whether you pick up the phone or whether you go on your phone, the classic is you just go on your phone, right? When you're feeling something, maybe you want to, just distract yourself. You don't want to feel that thing. So you go on your phone straight away. What I'm saying here, what we need to start practicing is when we feel a certain way, when we notice something, we feel a certain way, you stay within yourself. You stay within yourself. And this is what I'm saying. So you notice everything going on, and now you need to bring it all the way back within yourself and feel every single emotion and start practicing this within-ness model. Because when you do this, you're going to find you're going to release a lot of things. You're going to let yourself feel a lot of things. You're going to heal a lot of things. And you're going to also learn how to trust yourself fully. So now you know what's actually true, what's calming, what's peaceful. And most importantly, you are now training your mind to know you are fine. You've got this. You don't need the ego to help you anymore. You've got this. So this is what we're going to be doing. So what I want you to do is just be somewhere comfortable, sit somewhere comfortable, lie somewhere wherever you're comfortable. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. And just close your eyes if you can. It just makes it easier. And then just go right within your heart and just stay here. Stay right within your heart. Within your heart is the vibration of peace, of lightness, of calm, of knowing, of complete resilience and strength, of joy, of truth. Let yourself feel that. This is who and what you are. And just keep staying within your heart, within this calm and peace and lightness. You can just imagine just letting this lightness and joy and peace spread all across your body from your heart. So now you're completely surrounded in this inner vibration. Bring it in a bit more. Bring the energy within your heart. Keep that attention within your heart. And now we're going to go more within. Stay within your heart, within your inner vibration. Imagine everything now coming right within your heart and feeling it all within your heart. How does that feel for you? Keep staying within your inner vibration. Stay within what you know is true. And if any feelings come up, this is all very normal. Let yourself release what you need to release. Let yourself cry and feel. This is the transformation. You have everything you need right within you, right inside of you. Stay within this place. Stay right within yourself through your heart. Your heart wants you to know that you are safe, that you are taken care of, that you are loved, that you can relax. Lean back and stay within your heart where the safety is, where the truth is, where the lightness is. Keep staying right within yourselves. And when you feel like you've got to that place of real feeling within you, within your heart, of that connection, of remembering who and what you are within yourself, and how peaceful it feels here and how calm. Whenever you're ready, staying within your heart, just take 3 slow, deep breaths. Okay. And just open your eyes slowly. Sometimes it's good to just ground yourself a little bit when you come out of a meditation. So maybe just touch the floor, look in front of you, and notice any colours in front of you. So that is how you basically go within yourself. That's how it works. This is the within-ness model that I was talking about, and it's all through your heart. It's the purest, most loving, most safe place you can imagine. Remember, your egoic mind needs to know, your mind needs to learn that it's safe so it doesn't go back to the ego in survival all the time, right? This is how you do it. You train yourself, you train your mind to know you're safe so the ego can let you go. It's as simple as that. You can do this all the time. I would recommend you do this all the time, every day, at least once a day, 2 or 3 times a day. Of course, I mean, getting into the habit of this is really important. So just do it until it's automatic. And of course, when these moments come up, especially as it becomes more automatic to you, this will become much easier. So if you just practice it all the time, and then when moments come up when you're in that unconscious, trauma body, then you can do this much easier. And remember to keep staying with the feelings. That's really important, right? You don't go back to the mind. Like we said, it doesn't resolve anything. You stay with the feelings and the heart, like we talked about. The other thing that I just want to add here is, and I've repeated this so much in these videos, but I feel so passionate about this, and it's really important that everyone does this, and I don't feel like there's enough out there on this, and there really needs to be more and more people, saying this, because it's true, and that's nurturing and self-compassion. Self-compassion is like the thread to all of this, is the thread that connects all of this. If we don't have self-compassion for ourselves, this is an even crazier journey. So you have to practice self-compassion all the time. When I say self-compassion, it's like the acceptance of every part of you and bringing compassion to that and going, okay, that's what happened. That's what happened. No judgment. And you might want to cry about it, because that's what compassion does. It helps you feel right, so you can release. And nurturing, which is the same thing. So nurturing, think of all the ways you can nurture yourself. So for example, nurturing could be going outside in nature, spending some time, putting hands on the grass, on the flowers, listening to nature. That's a very nurturing thing to do for yourself. So I'm going to ask you this question, and you can either write it down, make a list, think about it, whatever you want to do. And that's, think of or reflect or list 3 ways you can nurture yourself from today. So 3 different ways you can nurture yourself from today. So important. And if you can do something nurturing every day, I mean, at least one thing, if not more, every day, then you are on the path of learning what self-compassion is and how you can be there for yourself. Because everything with the egoic mind is about, we are getting into the habit of believing something outside of us is training us basically to make us believe we're in survival. But if we bring self-compassion in and keep nurturing ourselves, we start to learn that actually we are okay within ourselves, and that helps the ego, the mind, know that you are again safe, right? So all of it is doing the same thing, but in different ways. So think of 3 ways that you can start nurturing yourself and start putting that into practice from today. I hope that was helpful. And again, please keep practicing the heart. I mean, what I'm saying is really, it's pretty real stuff. It's pretty true stuff. I've done this for myself. I work with my clients in this way, and it's the only way. It's the only way. The heart is literally the only way. So I really would highly recommend you start doing this for yourself. And in the next video, you are going to learn about how we can start bringing our higher self into this by helping us make choices for ourselves. And that's going to be quite interesting as well. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you in the next part.